Yo, peace, world. Patrick Omar Freeman, Angry Black Man in Therapy, broadcasting live on the steps of the Capitol, eating watermelon and spitting seeds out, red, black, and green shit. Shout out to Petey Green. Rest in peace to Glenn Ford and one of my journalist heroes, and I can't forget my other journalist hero, Gary Webb. You don't know who Gary Webb is? You don't know who Glenn Ford is, the Black and Gender Report? You don't know shit. So, for those who are late to the party, the other night we just marked an extension of the eviction moratorium, but it's kicking the can down the road. The new date is October the 3rd. So, and the caveat with that, and you can tell it's folks in his your boy Biden's ear, because the extension for the moratorium only applies to those areas where the new cases are up, which is like 90% of the fucking country. But that means 10% of the country can get evicted right now. 10% of the country can get evicted right now. 1 out of 6 is 1 out of 6 renters are behind their rent, and 10% of that number, threatened by eviction right now. So if you read the heading, that's pretty much my position. How is it that you have a system? It's watermelon good. Oh, shout out to Dynamic Wellness, 4th and 8th Street. Dynamic Wellness. Get your watermelon from Dynamic Wellness, or any black man with overalls and a pickup truck. Because only mindless people eat seedless fruit. But back to what I was saying, is that 713 billionaires in America has made almost 2 trillion, has almost made $2 trillion since the pandemic started. So a system that allows billionaires to double their worth in the same period of the pandemic, 16 months, and turn around and evict 1 out of 6 renters in the same country is not a system worth saving. And for the life of me, I don't know why Negroes are eating watermelon with no seeds and supporting billionaires. I don't understand. And mind you, most of these billionaires don't even pay taxes. Amazon pays 0 taxes, bro. Amazon paid 0 taxes and went to the fucking moon, or wherever the fuck he went. I wish you had stayed out there, motherfucker. That's what probably is. They eating watermelon and other kinds of fruit with no seeds. That's what's wrong with them. Mindless people eat seedless fruit. That's what's wrong with them. So what y'all think gonna happen October 3rd? You think they're gonna start evicting 1 out of 6 renters in this country? That's what you think? Let me explain something to you. The system is full of shit, in case you haven't noticed. And they make the shit up as they go along. If you have ever been to landlord-tenant court because you're behind your rent, you will know the process. How late with your rent do you have to be first before you even get the summons to appear in a court date, right? You have to be at least 1 month behind. And that's only if you're building owner. I don't use that word landlord. Y'all should stop using that word landlord. How the fuck you be a grown ass man or grown ass woman and you gonna call somebody your landlord, your lord? Get the fuck out here. This ain't medieval Europe, motherfucker. Y'all go ahead with that shit. You own the property. You own the building. Well, the fuck, not my landlord. People the terminology, cause you be like giving your power up. Tell that motherfucker, you ain't my lord, nigga. Better tell him. But you know, you eat seedless fruit, so you go for anything. So, only if the building owner is pressed will you get a summons to appear in court in 1 month. But let's just say your building owner is an asshole. So you're 1 month behind. So that means the day after the month that we in, you get a summons to appear in court. Now that summons could be anywhere between 2 weeks and 4 weeks. And that's under the old system that was working properly, right? So now you're 2 months behind in rent before you even get to court, right? Now let's say you get to court and you ain't got the money. It's clear you ain't gonna pay the rent, but you tell the judge you want to apply for emergency rental assistance, right? They're gonna start that process, and he's gonna give you another date. I mean, you gonna get another court date to come back before they call the marshals. Okay, so now you got another 2 to 4 weeks before you come back to court, and then I say that you didn't get the emergency rental assistance. Maybe say you was turned down because like you got to be damn near homeless in terms of income to qualify for emergency rental assistance program. Fortunately for me, I benefited from it a couple times because when you work for yourself, what's the requirement? What's the maximum amount of money you can make? Okay, here you go. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you to make this shit up. But anyway, so you don't get it. They give you a date for your eviction with the U.S. Marshal Service, right? So now your date for U.S. Marshal Service is anywhere from another 2 weeks to like 2 months. They can come anytime. Yes, I know this is gonna be like unsettling. They might knock on your door. You be like jumping and shit. But now let's count the time. From the time that you got your first summons to appear in court to the time that you're now eligible to be evicted. It's 3 months. 3 months. Minimum. If you resist it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about you just bend over and whatever. I'm talking about if you was eating seeded fruit, you can make this shit last 3 months. And people know, for real, DC got pretty aggressive defense for tenants. And anybody that own property, you might have been through it. So 3 months under normal circumstances to take you before you be eligible for eviction. Now, that it was before COVID. No one's been evicted for over 16 months. So now you got a 16-month backlog on top of all the people that was there in front of the headline to begin with. How long you think it's going to be before they get to you? Not only just the backlog of 16 months, remember, 1 out of 6 renters are behind the rent. All right? So whatever the number of renters are in DC, 1 out of 6 of those motherfuckers, including yours truly, is behind in their rent. So now you got to take that number, which I guarantee you is a lot higher than what the rate was before COVID. And you're going to tell me that they're going to process all that shit and throw all these people out. Okay. Somebody's going to resist that shit. I know I am. You must be crazy. And yeah, they somebody want to say stay DC, but you know why they call it stay DC? Because they didn't want to call it cancel rent like we was calling for. All right. This is activism work that pushes them to do something. All right. Hence, we act ready to do something. Dynamic Wellness Watermelon. Spitting seeds on the seeds of the Capitol. Spitting seeds on the steps of the Capitol, right? But we're living in a great revolution right now, y'all. This is the ultimate battle between the haves and the have-nots. This is a showdown. This is capitalism on trial. That's what it is. And any Negro out there that's standing in defense of capitalism is either benefiting from it or they eating seedless fruit. One or the other. Possibly both. In other words, something wrong with him. It's probably the same kind of Negro that feels better about themselves when they put on a pair of Yeezys. So, you mean to tell me that Jeff Bezos doesn't pay taxes? Most billionaires don't. Most billionaire corporations don't. But they don't have the money to take care of 1 out of 6 renters in America. After the greatest pandemic in the history of the country. Okay. God bless America, right? Explain something to you. You know, your boy Biden been dropping bombs on in Africa this week. I think it's Somalia. Don't double check me on that one. I think it's Somalia. I'm pretty sure it's Somalia. So they say they got money for war. Can't feed the poor. You got to ask yourself, why the fuck is America dropping bombs on people, but can't take care of the people, their own people? Because this is not a country. It's an empire. And all empires fall. And man, we get to be alive to see this one go down. Boy, I'm so excited about the bust of my pants. For a long time, I thought I was going to miss it. I thought I was going to miss it. I just wish, you know, all the folks that was part of Vanguard was here. All those that gave their lives and their freedom to get us to this point. But unfortunately, here in DC, we got a lot of bougie ass Negroes, you know. DC is probably the largest group of bougie black people in the country. I swear. But I understand, you know, most of them work for the government. They want to bite the hand that feeds them. You know, want to be a good boy, get a step, pat on the back, bigger check. You know, to help their masters. But you're gonna have to make a decision, because I'm trying to tell you, all hell gonna break loose when they try to come knocking on 1 out of 6 renters' doors, evicting people in mass. Because one of the things we haven't really realized is that this one is not going to be about race. It is going to be in D.C. because there's no poor white people in D.C. So most of the people that's behind their rent and not able to catch up will be black people. But around the country, it's 1 out of 6 renters around the country that's behind the rent. So that's, some of those are white folks. So now you're gonna have poor white folks getting evicted too. And then they're gonna realize that they're just like us. in the eyes of the powers that be. Y'all should go check out this film from Matthew McConaughey, who's a little off, unfortunately. Great actor, but he wasn't a Trump supporter, but he was a Trump sympathizer. You know, like, you know, he's our president, we should support our president, that type of bullshit. But he made a great film about the Civil War. Educated me, never heard of it. I think it was called the State of Jones. I think it was, yeah, the State of Jones. You might want to check that out. So what happened in the State of Jones is that his character was a medic. So he's on the battlefield, you know, picking up the bodies, trying to, you know, tend to the wounded. You know, people got, you know, face blown off, shit like that. But what happened was, only the poor people was fighting the Confederate Army. Unless, you know, there was a, you know, an officer or some shit like that. But the foot soldiers was the poor people. They didn't own no slave. You know why? Because the rich white people in the South could pay money for somebody to be in their place. They could pay a fee and they wouldn't have to go. So only poor people had to go. Well, when they got hip to that, a lot of them started deserting the Confederate Army. They were like, fuck this shit. We getting blown up for rich people. You don't give a fuck about us. And the reason why they couldn't get a job, because they got all the fucking slaves. So when they deserted, they could be shot on the spot. You know, you desert the army during the Civil War. I don't know if that was on the Union side too, but it definitely was on the Confederate side. You could be shot in the spot. So Matthew McConaughey character deserted, and where did he go run to? Joined the fugitive slaves living out in the swamps, where they couldn't get to him. And so they had been running and hiding the whole time. The runaway slaves have been running and hiding, and this is the, you know, Great White Hope shit. You know, so I don't know how accurate this part is. But when Matthew McConaughey character show up, now they want to fight. He convinces them to fight. And they actually, poor white trash, Confederate Army, defectors from the Confederate Army, and runaway slaves joined together and created guerrilla armies that liberated towns and areas behind Confederate lines during the Civil War. The Free State of Jones. Might want to check that out. It reminds me of something rebellion. I'm trying to remember. Somebody help me out. You know, historians out there. I miss Harry Jones. Shout out to Harry Jones. I wish Harry Jones was here. Oh my God. I wish Harry Jones was here. We'll be talking about John Brown right now. Shout out to Harry Jones. Rest in peace. I'm trying to think of, I think it's Shepherd's Rebellion. I think it's Shepherd's Rebellion. Don't double check that. But it was when poor white trash and the poor black people got together. So what I'm saying, I say all that to say this, that if they start evicting 1 out of 6 people, no matter how long it's going to take them to do it, it's going to combine the have-nots. It's going to unite the have-nots. And they have always tried to keep the poor people separated, doing racism or patriotism or, you know, whatever they can come up with. But they're going to fuck around and unite the have-nots and further expose the ocean of divide between the have-nots and the haves. I'm sorry I'm spitting seeds out on the Capitol that black folks built, slaves built, and people have been offended by that. I'm sorry that you feel offended that I'm spitting seeds out on the state capitol, on the country, the capital of the United States. But at least I'm outside. I got more home training than the motherfuckers than them defecating on inside the building that our ancestors built. January 6th, y'all. So many Negroes want to act like that didn't mean nothing. Talking about that wasn't about us. Okay. You know, if it had been us, what would have happened to us? And you saw how they let those crackers just walk out of there? Walk out of there. And then turn around and had the audacity to ask for our help to locate these motherfuckers and identify them. Motherfuckers must be crazy. Ah, man, this watermelon good. So, we're going to see a showdown here, y'all. It's going to get interesting. Remaining awake during the Great Revolution. So, October the 3rd, you might see some fireworks. If they smart, they'll keep kicking the can down the road. Because they're not going to announce they're going to cancel rent or be too socialist for America. But they can keep kicking the can down the road and let it fall into the lap of the next administration, so it'll be that problem. And they can blame somebody else. And you know, Biden's going to be a one-term president. And what's up with your girl Kamala Harris, who said America's not a racist country, agreeing with Tim Scott? Crazy. I actually went out with this girl who was defending Kamala. Said, that's not what she meant. I'm like, that's what she said. And she's like, but that's not what she meant. I'm like, what the fuck did she mean? She meant blah, 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 blah. All right. This is like, sound like Obama all over again. So, what do you think gonna happen, y'all? You think that the system's never gonna change? You think America's gonna be the one empire to never fall? You think we don't have the power to change the system? Shout out to Dynamic Wellness. There's some good watermelon here. I'm almost done, y'all. I'm gonna wrap up when I get to my last piece. I got 2 pieces to go. I was hoping to see some comments up there. I don't see comments. I see folks as they joining. Thank you for watching. WEAC Radio. But October 3rd, I really hope they realize that, you know, the nature of their ways. But I doubt it. I doubt it. Like Dick Gregory said, y'all want to continue to peacefully coexist with filth. With filth. This is the largest prison system in the entire world. In the entire world. How many fucked up situations that we have, the examples we got to point to? Khalif Browder, young boy, clean record. In the words of Flavor Flav, he ain't never did nothing to nobody. Might be the only time I ever quote Flavor Flav, but that's what came to my mind. Y'all know the story. High school kid goes to jail under the suspicion of stealing a backpack. Where's the backpack that he stole? And he stays in jail for 3 years. Never go to court. Well, he's beaten and brutalized. I hope he wasn't raped. For 3 years. For a crime he didn't commit, never saw a court, and couldn't afford bail. That's real America. And then how many of these crackers got money, don't never go to jail. All these motherfuckers Trump pardon or whatever, y'all tripping. I come to the realization that most of the people they know what's going on. They know how messed up it is. But if they can just get a bigger slice of the pie, get a bigger car, a bigger house, go on bigger vacations, and the government leave them the fuck alone, they all right. They're cool with it. They ain't gonna say nothing. Unfortunately, I eat too many seeds and watermelon for me to be one of those people. So October 3rd is the date. Eviction moratorium. It's going to be a rapid redistribution of wealth in this country, whether they like it or not. I suggest y'all read Martin Luther King's last book, Where to Go From Here, Chaos or Community, and get ready. Now, on the local note, I'm very disappointed that the DC Council unanimously, as I understand it, so double check on that one, but let me just say, the DC Council passed, so let me say that, I can stand behind that. The DC Council passed removing the eviction moratorium. Ain't that some shit? And it's supposed to be your progressive DC Council? And then you got Negroes out here talking about, oh, what about the landlord? I told you how I feel about that term landlord. So once I hear you say that, I already know you're a sucker, because you just repeating what they're telling you instead of thinking for yourself. And that's what this new system's going to require. You start thinking for yourself. You understand me? Nobody's landlord over you. Nobody's lord over you. Are you crazy? Where you get that from? You might as well be a Negro, if that's the case. You know, ain't that what they called you? Ain't that what they called you? Until you start thinking for yourself. But you got these little Negroes talking about, well, what about the building owners? They got mortgages. As if the mortgages are not able to be pushed back. As if the majority of the buildings in this city are owned by a mom and pop situation, right? Yes, if it's a mom and pop situation, they should be made whole. Push the mortgages back. Take care of them too. There's money been allocated for both of them, both the tenant and the building owner, but they haven't made it to the people. That ain't stopped them from threatening to evict people. So you mean to tell me the federal government already gave and distributed billions of dollars to take care of this, but then tell you straight up that the money ain't got to them, but we're going to still evict people? That reminds me of this story I saw today. I think it was on IG. Some sister in New Jersey somewhere was at the casino playing slot machines or one of those computer games, and the game said that she won $40 million. And then when she got tried to cash in her winnings, they said, oh, the computer malfunctioned. Here's a steak dinner, but we ain't got nothing for you. And so she's suing the casino. And they were talking about how this has happened so many times. When the house loses, oh, now it's a malfunction. It ain't a malfunction when they taking your money, but when they want to give you something, it's a malfunction. So this is the system we're living in, y'all. What are you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Taxation, not representation. DC pay a high percentage of taxes in several states. Well, that's not my problem. Those that know me know how I get down. I'm not putting all my business out here. Well, that was okay, y'all. Well, that was my last piece of watermelon. So that means I'm wrapping up here. All right. I hope I'm I'm pretty sure I'm not the first black man to eat watermelon and spit seeds out on the Capitol steps. I'm pretty sure I'm not, but I'm definitely the first since January 6th. I'm pretty sure of that. My last piece. So don't eat seedless fruit. Be mindful. Let's start testing the boundaries of the system. Let's start decreasing our level of dependency on the system and increase our interdependency on each other. Let's make our ancestors proud. Let's be less afraid, a little bit more bolder, and think for ourselves. And shout out to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, because at that intersection here in Southeast, where that little girl was killed, we're going to change that block. We're going to change that intersection. Watch what I tell you. We got all these little Negroes out here, you know, the ones that eat seedless fruit and call the building owner landlord and shut the fuck up when the police show up. You know, those Negroes. I tell them, well, you can't blame the liquor store. It's just a store. You blame the end zone. What's wrong with you? Look, we asked the mayor, 2 council members, a couple ANCs, and the ABRA board themselves in session, how many liquor stores is too many liquor stores? Nobody could answer that simple question. Nobody could answer that simple question. Well, I'll tell you how many is too many. 7 liquor stores within one intersection or 1 block radius of the intersection of Martin Luther King Avenue and Malcolm X Avenue is too much. It got to go. There's going to be 1 less. All right? And we're going to start envisioning what we want to see in there. Y'all know about DOPA, DOPA, District Opportunity Purchase Act? It's kind of like eminent domain in reverse, where the city can come in with a buildings for sale and buy it to protect and prevent displacement. That's what happened to We Act Radio, Checking Enterprises, Bunny Secret Garden, District Culture. They don't call it that because they want to give everybody else no bright ideas, but that's what we did. So I'm just saying, man, y'all need to start pushing. You gotta do something. So get your seeded fruit, and maybe you'll have some balls and some ovaries to do something. All right. October 3rd is the next big joint. We're gonna have a big event. Probably it's gonna start here at the Capitol. Maybe a mobile situation. We got to work with the powers that be to see how far we're gonna go. But there will be a joyful noise on October 3rd. All right. And hopefully these crackers will come to their senses. And if they don't, we're gonna have something for them. All right. So don't spectate, participate. Prepare to participate. We Act Radio. Do something. And make sure you get your seeded watermelon from Dynamic Wellness, 4th and 8th Street, or any black man in a pickup truck and overalls. Shout out to Bomani, the watermelon man. He has a big watermelon day this Saturday at Sankofa. Watermelon day this Saturday at Sankofa. And also we're doing a Black August event immediately after that at the Bunny Secret Garden. You know, the one that we took from the developers and District Opportunity Purchase Act and now own the spaces. That space, yeah. Come through Saturday for that. Tamika Love Jones is performing. She's gonna have a lot of friends. So Bomani Ahmad, daytime, 3 o'clock, Watermelon Day, Sankofa. And when the sun go down, come see me, We Act Radio, Bunny Secret Garden, and Anacostia. And also shout out to Nubian Human. They're doing a series of Black August events. And if you don't know what Black August is, you don't know shit. So you need to start educating yourself. We Act Radio, do something. Peace. Pappy Come On Freeman. Rest in peace to Glenn Ford, Black Agenda Report, and also Petey Green. This was my Petey Green routine at the steps of the Capitol, spitting watermelon seeds out here. Peace, y'all.